Juarez Cartel. The Juarez Cartel controlled a significant portion of drug smuggling into the USA, under the leadership of Amadeo Carrillo Fuentes, who commanded about 800 members at its peak. Their most notorious crime was the murder of American immigration agent Hector Garcia. They're also known for car bombings, public shootouts, and the assassination of journalists. Fuentes was arrested in 1997, leading to the cartel's decline. Marabunta. Marabunta is a Central American gang founded in the early 1990s by Miguel El Diablo Hernandez. They dominate through their numbers, more than 1,000 members, drug trafficking, robbery, human trafficking, kidnappings for ransom, violent street battles, and extortion. Their brutal initiation rituals and military-like operations make them one of Central America's most feared gangs. In 2008, they carried out a mass massacre, killing over 50 rival gang members and civilians. Cali Cartel. The Cali Cartel was a major player in the 1990s drug market, led by Rodrigo Lara Bonilla, also known as Don Rodrigo. They distinguished themselves in the 1985 abduction and murder of DEA agent Enrique Camarena. They were also involved in large-scale money laundering, bribing high-ranking officials, and multiple assassinations of rival cartel members. Bonilla's arrest in 1995 marked the beginning of the cartel's downfall. Yakuza Mafia. The Yakuza is a Japanese organized crime group deeply rooted in Japanese culture and history. It's known for its strict hierarchy and immense influence on business and politics. Among the numerous crimes associated with the Yakuza, one of the most famous is the assassination of the mayor of Nagasaki in 2007. Despite continuous law enforcement operations against this mafia, it remains active and influential in Japanese society. Irish Republican Army, IRA. The Irish Republican Army, or IRA, is a parliamentary organization historically linked to the fight for Irish independence from British rule. Emerging in the early 20th century, it has been involved in guerrilla warfare, bombings, assassinations, and other violent acts. At its peak, the IRA had thousands of active members. One of its most infamous incidents was the Bloody Sunday Massacre in 1972, where British soldiers killed unarmed protesters in Northern Ireland. The IRA was also responsible for numerous bombings in London and other cities, including the 1996 Manchester bombing. Despite peace agreements in the late 20th century, splinter groups continued to commit violence. Ndrangheta Mafia. Originating in Calabria, Italy, the Ndrangheta Mafia is infamous for its century-long history of large-scale smuggling, kidnappings, and drug trafficking. With complex hierarchical structure deeply rooted in family ties, the Ndrangheta operates through a system of clans, each with its own leaders, soldiers, and territories. Despite significant crackdowns, including the high-profile murder of Judge Falcone in 1992, the organization remains resilient. Despite numerous arrests, including key members, Ndrangheta remains active, retaining influence in various spheres like business, politics, and crime. The Bloods and the Crips. Two of the most notorious gangs in the United States, the Bloods and the Crips, have committed numerous heinous crimes over the years. From violent turf wars to brutal acts of retribution, their criminal activities have instilled fear in communities across the country. However, one of the most chilling crimes attributed to these gangs occurred in 1992 during the Los Angeles riots, where members of both gangs engaged in widespread looting, arson, and violence that resulted in over 60 deaths and thousands of injuries. Among their other shocking crimes are mass shootings, drive-by shootings, and targeted assassinations of rival gang members and innocent civilians alike. Additionally, they're involved in drug trafficking, human trafficking, and other forms of organized crime. Los Zetas. Los Zetas, a cartel formed by ex-Mexican soldiers, officially split from the main organization, the Gulf Cartel, in 2010, after which they began to operate independently. Despite being the newest gang, they've made a big impact with brutal tactics like beheadings. They're into sex trafficking, drugs, and murder. Known for their ruthlessness, they massacred over 70 migrants in 2010. Estimates suggest they have hundreds or even thousands of members. Losing original leaders has weakened them, but despite law enforcement efforts, they're still a major force in Mexico and Central America. Aryan Brotherhood. The Aryan Brotherhood, mainly consisting of white supremacists, originated in American prisons during the mid-20th century. Initially formed for protection, it has since expanded its influence outside prison walls. Known for its brutality and racist beliefs, the gang has committed various heinous crimes: assassinations and hate crimes against minorities based on race, ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation. Additionally, they are deeply involved in drug trafficking, contributing to addiction and violence in communities. Triads. The Triads, a Chinese criminal organization dating back centuries, are notorious for their violence and influence. With thousands of members, they've committed numerous heinous crimes, including assassinations, drug trafficking, and human trafficking. One of their most infamous crimes was the murder of prominent Chinese businessman Wang Yuquan in Hong Kong in 2009, which shocked the nation due to the victim's high profile and the brazenness of the attack in a major urban center. This murder garnered widespread media attention and sparked public outrage, highlighting the Triads' audacity and disregard for law and order. Additionally, the Triads have been involved in large-scale extortion, money laundering, and illegal gambling operations, further cementing their reputation for organized crime. Despite law enforcement efforts, the Triads continue to operate and wield significant power in criminal circles worldwide. Mungiki. Mungiki, meaning United People or Multitude, is a secretive sect founded in Kenya in the late 1980s. They gained notoriety for their extreme tactics, including brutal killings, forced circumcisions, and extortion schemes. Their fervent opposition to Western influence and promotion of traditional Kenyan values also contributed to their fame. Additionally, concerns about their alleged connections with local law enforcement and government officials, who are accused of turning a blind eye to their activities for financial gain, further heightened their infamy. The Mumbai underworld. The Mumbai underworld, established in the early 20th century in India, holds significant influence due to its control over various criminal activities such as drug trafficking, kidnappings, and extortion. Their extensive network and ability to operate with impunity in the region contribute to their power. One of their distinguishing features is their ability to blend into the local community, making it challenging for law enforcement to apprehend them. Additionally, their utilization of violence and intimidation tactics further solidifies their dominance in the criminal underworld. The Sicilian Mafia. The Sicilian Mafia, also known as Cosa Nostra, originated in late 19th century Sicily, Italy, in response to the ineffective government authority. Key figure, Giuseppe Morello, the first boss of bosses, established its early structure and code of conduct, using violence to expand influence. As the mafia evolved, it attracted new members and extended its reach beyond Sicily, connecting with criminal organizations globally. Today, it remains a formidable syndicate characterized by secrecy, violence, and power struggles. The Sicilian Mafia, or Cosa Nostra, has been involved in numerous high-profile crimes throughout its history. Some of the most notorious include assassinations of high-ranking officials, judges, politicians, and entrepreneurs. One of the most infamous cases was the assassination of Judge Giovanni Falcone in 1992, carried out with a concealed car bomb. Additionally, the mafia has been implicated in kidnappings, extortion, drug trafficking, and other forms of organized crime. These high-profile crimes have contributed to the mafia's notoriety and its lasting impact on Sicilian society and beyond. Medellin Cartel. The Medellin Cartel, led by Pablo Escobar in the 1970s, rose to power by dominating the cocaine trade in Colombia and smuggling drugs into the United States. Their ascent was marked by extreme violence, including bombings, assassinations, and kidnappings. They were notorious for their plata a plomo, silver or lead tactic, offering bribes or threatening violence to coerce cooperation. The cartel also engaged in torture and mutilation to enforce loyalty and intimidate rivals, cementing their reputation for ruthlessness and instilling fear in Colombia and beyond. Two most high-profile crimes of the cartel is famous for carrying out is the bombing of Avincia Flight 203, killing all 107 people on board, and the bombing of a DAS building in Bogota in 1989, killing over 60 people. In addition, Escobar orchestrated countless murders, targeting law enforcement officials and politicians. While the Medellin Cartel itself has been dismantled, its legacy continues to influence the drug trade and organized crime in Colombia and beyond.